I think the biggest lesson of the last 15 years for me has been that there is nothing more powerful than treating patients that have never been treated before. There's nothing you can do in your career, earning money, publishing papers, getting awards. There's nothing else you can do that is more uplifting and compelling than being there in the room treating a patient for the first time.
You ready to go?
And that has consumed me, and what I've been trying to do since that time, so many, 15 years ago, where we did it for the first time, that moment I've been trying to recreate over and over again. When I first started work with Dr. Neufeld, I was excited because they had cloned the gene for MPS 1, and so there was a chance to treat them. And I had grand visions of doing gene therapy and fancy technology. And she led us back to, let's just do the enzyme replacement. Let's finally see if that works.
Dr. Kakis came at the right time, okay? The science was essentially ready. Okay? What was needed was a lot of work.
Mary Passage had been working at Harbor, UCLA many years, and I knew her, and I knew her passion and intensity for getting things done. But I really didn't have enough money to hire Mary, and the Ryan Foundation had raised me enough money to finally do something. So I had the opening to take Mary on part-time. And Mary gravitated this immediately. I mean, she grasped right onto it. It didn't take a lot of thinking for her to realize how important this was.
And so as it turned out, he hired me for 2 days a week, but suddenly I found myself there 4 days a week in the beginning.
So I met Barbara Lyons when she joined the clinic there to help us in genetics. She had been working in the newborn screening group, and she was really efficient and effective, and really liked working with her. And she started working with our genetics clinic, and things started working. And she'd just get stuff done. She'd follow up. She really cared about patients and drove things very, very well. As I was getting ready to plan the clinical trial, I realized I need someone like Barbara.
My fondest memory, I think I would have to say, is that first week and the first infusion for each patient. It was, it's just very memorable and very just proud and just so happy to have been part of it.
There's a whole large number of people that were at the company that were doing all the bits and pieces that have to get done to actually get the drug approved and to manufacture it and deliver it and distribute it so that some kid in some country around the world has a vial with the enzyme in it they can deliver into their vein and get treated. And when you have, maybe 1,000 patients at more than 40 countries around the world getting treated now, that's a huge operation, and it takes a whole huge number of people to make that happen. Throughout the summer of '97, we were getting inquiries from people around the world who had been hearing about our enzyme therapy work. But what a difficult challenge. How do you say yes to people, and how do you say no to other people? Because saying no to people could be saying to them that they're never going to treat and your child's going to die.
Originally, they said her life expectancy might be 30 or 40 without it. But like she said, I don't think she would have made it. And now she's got a good chance for a good long life.
I met another MPS 1 patient that lives like 3 blocks from me. Yeah, she started when she was 5 years old. And she's just as fit as a fiddle. So I think they don't have too much to worry about anymore, thanks to Dr. Kakis.
The dogs are basically hers. One is mine and the rest are hers, but we have a lot of fun with them. Plus we have 3 cats.
I'm feeling pretty good. Definitely not as shy as I used to be. Get out a little more, got the fancy car. Just doing overall really well.
What I say to our MPS family
and friends is that we've really been on an amazing and incredible journey.
Almost 5
that
years ago, we were
we've all been
privileged to be a
through
part of the clinical
some of the same experiences and some of the highs and lows together, and joys and sorrows and challenges, but this is an experience that nobody can take from us, ever.
What I normally do at the Y is I greet people as when they come and as when they leave.
Brian had become such a fixture here that we decided that we needed to name the entrance for him. So in 2005, we surprised Bryant with a ceremony. We had elected officials, we had businessmen, we had people come in and tell their story of how Bryant has impacted their life by getting to know him and just his positive attitude that he exhibits every day when people come to the YMCA.
So he's a deep-rooted, soulful guy, and he's also a light-hearted, sweet, light presence. But he's just got a lot of great energy, and he's just the heart of this Y. We love having him on this team, and he makes us all better walking in this place.
When we started more than 15 years ago and met Ryan and met Mark and Jean, I had no idea where we were going to go. I had hoped we could do something for him, prevent him from declining, keep him alive. I did not know where we would go in the end.
Just being able to see how far we've come this past 15 years is amazing, because not a day goes by that I wonder what life could have been like without this medicine, what my parents' lives could have been like without this medicine, what all the people around the world's life could be without this medicine. It's just really amazing and remarkable.
I can remember having birthday parties in this house and being sad at the end of the night because, well, it's another one, getting closer. But when we met Emil Kakis, life had changed forever because I kind of pushed my window of looking forward from 2 weeks to just a couple of years, which was pretty far for a parent, I think, with a terminal illness in the house. So there really wasn't a map passed for me personally a few years, because whatever Emil said was going to happen. You could look at him in the eye and he would speak, and it was as if there's no worries now, because he will pick the right people to work with him and the right things will happen.
We always wanted that chance, and so our thoughts have always been real positive.
The journey from when Ryan started the drug, that moment did change our lives forever. It got Ryan on a different path. It allowed him to think past the moment, to learn as he approached high school and then after, it's okay to get your driver's license because it's okay to start saving for that car again you really wanted all your life. And for him, the journey is like the journey for all of us. You got a plan, you got to make a plan, and it may not always work, but it doesn't work for everybody else either. You change the plan. For Gina and I, we've been able to meet so many amazing people. I can list every one of them in the trial because they are amazing. They gave a gift to the world. All of us did. Through those days and weeks out in Torrance, that was a gift. But I think the gift to the Dant family was being able to learn from those other 9 families, to see their journey and see how it's changing and see how the journey is always worth it.
I think all the kids love the fact that they're in the trial. You know, I think it's a personal accomplishment of contributed development of a therapeutic, you know, and each of their numbers is now in a New England Journal of Medicine article for the world to see that they were one of the 10 kids in a study that opened the door to treatment for MPS 1. That's a big accomplishment.
Now, when a kid's diagnosed, there's the treatment, there's the plan, they can get it and just keep on living. It doesn't have to be their entire identity. I tell people, I have MPS, but that's not my identity. It's just a part of me.
It's just so hard to think that in 15 years, you could go from where we were to where we are. Gave us a chance, once Woody started getting treatment, our family got a chance to do what most families do. And that was not to have everything centered around doctors. We got to center around things, you know, going places, doing things. It wasn't, everything wasn't focused around medical. So our life is not focused around medical anymore. It is focused around my surroundings, this. I was negative Nancy coming in to the enzyme because I was afraid. I was like, if this doesn't work, where does that leave me? And I just couldn't give my heart to that, which shocked me. I looked back at the old tapes and I couldn't believe that that was me talking, because 5 years later, 10 years later, now 15, that just seems like the stupidest thing to have ever said or thought. But at the time, it was all I could think of. And then fast forward again to where we are today, and saying 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old walks into a doctor's office and they take a look at him, they do some genetic testing, say, this is what you have MPS 1, and this is what we have for you. I can't even imagine what that would feel like.
There's been a lot of great memories in the last 15 years, so picking out the best one is challenging. I would guess, to me, the biggest moment, the most emotional moment, was when the advisory committee voted 12-0 to accept the program as being effective. Because that was the moment where I knew it was going to happen for not just the 10 patients in the study, not just for patients in clinical trials, but for everyone. And until that moment, we weren't really sure what was going to happen.
I think if I hadn't have started the enzyme therapy, that I wouldn't be here today.
I got to just be a normal kid like everyone else.
I always have great days.
Be able to see all these parents from different countries send me messages on Facebook saying thank you for all the stuff you did when you were young, because without you and everyone else that was a part of that trial, we wouldn't be here today.
I never felt really scared or apprehensive. I always felt like it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, and the original kids are the ones that took the pin. They were the pin cushions, because they went through so much those first couple of months, that testing them for everything, sleep tests, all kinds of things that even as an adult I wouldn't have wanted to volunteer for. So those kids were troopers, all of them.
It would be surprising for anybody to go through this and not take pause somewhere and be grateful for every little thing. I mean, you know, it doesn't matter what you did, it helped. So, yeah.
I think what these 10 kids and families did is so inspiring and amazing and courageous, because they were really the first to step up to the plate and make things possible nobody ever thought would be possible for a future.
Emil gave us a different journey. We look back and we see the smiling faces of those 9 families and that picture of Emil in the director's chair. I would bet there isn't a day that's gone by since that picture was taken that I haven't thought of that. Such little kids and Greg, heroes, all of them. 11 people in that picture, every one of them, heroes.